to sharing some testimonies from my clients, conversations and all that, so that this can be a proof that it is possible for you to get a job even if you don't have all the experience that it takes, or even if you have zero experience. What a lot of people don't understand is that there are actually some things that you can bank on, to land yourself a job even if you don't have working experience in that field. Hello, this is Gabby and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Alright, so today we are going to be discussing an urgent and interesting topic, and that is how to land a job with zero experience. Yes, you heard me right. Okay, so this question, people have asked me a couple of times, and I think it's time that I address this topic, right? Okay, as somebody who has helped a lot of young graduates and people who have transitioned into a new field, to land jobs and gigs in that, field, even with zero experience, I think I can practically tell you, the tips and strategies that I've used to help those people, and I believe that is going to help somebody out there, right? So how can you land a job with zero experience? Before I dive into this topic, if you are watching my channel for the first time, I welcome you to the family, and please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on post notifications so that you don't miss any valuable content or videos that will be coming from me. All right, and if you have been watching my channel for a long time and you're yet to subscribe, please kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. I need all the encouragement from you so that I can keep this up and keep helping more people land their dream jobs and relocate to other countries successfully, and as well do well in their business. All right, so back to the topic. How do you land a job when you don't have any experience? I mean, is that even possible? Is that realistic? I mean, some of you might be wondering, is that even possible? Well, my dear, it is very possible. And as I'm sharing with you, I'm going to be sharing some testimonies from my clients, conversations and all that, so that this can be a proof that it is possible for you to get a job even if you don't have all the experience that it takes, or even if you have zero experience. What a lot of people don't understand is that there are actually some things that you can bank on, to land yourself a job even if you don't have working experience in that field. Take for example, I've helped a lot of people that have relocated to other countries to create CVs and resume in line with any job that is that is in high demand in that country. Take for example, in the UK we have high demand of caregivers, construction workers, electricians and the likes in the UK. Okay, so for somebody that has been working in Nigeria, maybe you've been working in the banking industry, customer service, and on getting to the UK, you need an urgent job for you to start living your life. I mean, you can't go to the UK and just be idle. What are you going to eat? What money are you going to spend? How are you going to live? So this is what prompts a lot of people to go for this job just as a starter, right? So that they can feed their family, feed themselves, pay some bills, and before getting the main job. So what I do for most of these people is that I help them to create a CV in line with a job that is in high demand. And the way I do it, it's just by God's grace anyway. It's not like I'm the expert here or I know it all, but God has been helping me out, and I've helped a lot. In fact, over 50 international clients to land jobs abroad, both in the UK, USA, Canada, Australia, different countries like that, right? So firstly, I'd like you to know that there are different types of CV formats, right? We have the chronological CV format, we have the functional CV format, we have the international CV format, we have the targeted CV format, we have the combination CV format, we have the academic CV format, and we have the creative or visual CV format. But for those of you that want to land a job with zero experience, the one that I'm going to be focusing on is the functional CV format and international CV format combined together, right? And what I mean by the international CV format is that it's going to be of an international standard, and the languages and everything that we're going to be using is going to be tailored to the standard of that particular country, because the English words that you use in the UK is going to be different from the English word that you're going to use in the US. Like, it depends on the country. Take for example, in the US, when you want to write something like organize, US, you're going to use like Z, right? So sometimes the spelling, the language format, they just differ. So you have to work with the international, that particular country standard, right? So the first thing is to recognize the country that you actually want to go to. But let me just tell you also that there are countries that work. There are countries whereby you can use the same format, to apply for jobs in the same countries. Let's say USA and Canada, they are mostly alike, and yes, they are, there's a particular civil format that works for both country. But when it comes to UK, it's slightly different. But sometimes you can use a singular CV to apply for jobs in different countries depending on the kind of role. So like I was saying, you have to work with a functional CV format. And what do I mean by a functional CV format? A functional CV format is a kind of CV format that focuses more on your skills, right, rather than your experience. This focuses on your skills, your certifications, rather than you just working with the work experience, the experience you've had and all that. So when it comes to functional CV, you focuses more on skills and transferable skills, maybe from your old career path or from your education line from school during your studies and all that. So those skills are the one that you are bringing into this new field or the particular kind of job that you want, right? And how does this work, right? For those of you that don't have any major experience in a particular field and you want to land job in that field, functional CV is highly advisable, and this is how you go about it. And the number one thing you need to do is to identify the transferable skills. Let's take for example, you have been in the cybersecurity path, and cybersecurity deals with systems that are vulnerable to attacks, and you want to go into the healthcare system. I mean, there are skills, transferable skills that you can use that is tailored to the healthcare system, because healthcare system also, or healthcare assistants, will also deals with people that are vulnerable, people that can't take care of themselves, disabled and the sick and all that. They are vulnerable, right? So with your understanding of vulnerability from cybersecurity, you can bring the skill into healthcare system. Yeah, and I mean, somebody's like, wow, yeah, that is it. And for those that have been in school, maybe you volunteer as a program director, you have leadership skills and all that, and you want to go into something like administration, project management. I mean, there are transferable skills that you can bring directly into it. There is something that I do for most of my clients that don't have major work experience, especially when it comes to the healthcare system, project management, tech and all that. There are transferable skills that I bring from their, even from just marketing, selling business. I mean, people that have their personal business, maybe you're a fashion designer or you run a beauty store and all that. There are transferable skills that I do bring from it into their, the skill needed for that particular role. So it requires a form of strategic approach, and you have to be smart about it, right? Take for example, a client want me to create a let's say a care CV and all that. The person does not have a major work experience. I mean, if you are a mother or you're taking care of your grandmother or something, that is a kind of experience, and that you have some transferable skills to bring into your CV. Just that there are ways that you have to position it in your CV. There are ways that you need to arrange the layout, the format, and you are good to go. So a lot of people keep stressing themselves that I need to have these qualifications, I need to get a degree and all that to get a good job. I'm not disputing the fact that education is not important. Of course, education is very important. But if you don't have the privilege to go to school or to get some qualifications, I mean, that shouldn't stop you from still getting the job. We've had a lot of people that they are not even the most qualified, but they got themselves a very good, high-paying job as a result of how they created their CV. And this is why I want to help many other people out there, to do the same, right? So the first thing, identify your transferable skills. Very important, because these are the things that you are going to be imputing into your new CV for that particular role, right? So transferable skills, very important. And number two, which is an important part of landing a job with zero skills, is customize your resume or your CV and back it up with a cover letter. I mean, it's not enough for you to just create anyhow CV. Just imagine there are a lot of people applying for a single job. that you are also applying for. There are a lot of people that have the work experience more than you do. There are a lot of people that, they have all it takes more than you do. So you don't want to toy with this aspect. And this is one thing that I actually help a lot of people to do, creating a professional, a job getting CV and resume so that they can land a job. I mean, as somebody who have mastered the art of creating professional CVs and resumes and cover letters, and having worked with a lot of recruiters in the past years, I can emphatically tell you the things that are working these days. I mean, a lot of us would have heard about ATS software. That is the machine that is being used to filter resume these days. And if your CV or resume doesn't pass through this software successfully, then that is bye bye, because that means you're not qualified at all. And the reason why they use this machine is because it helps them to save time. I mean, you can imagine over thousands of people apply for a single role. You can't expect the HR, the recruiters, to start looking into CVs one after the other. It's going to take a lot of time, and that is why they employ the software and they use this machine to filter it out, right? So you have to master, you have to be able to beat the ATS by creating a professional CV resume, that matches the job description and the job role. Anyway, I think I'm talking too much, right? So in creating your CVs, you need to work on your professional summary. This is where you talk about your more of your transferable skills. Since you don't have much work experience, right, you focus more on transferable skills and how they relate to your new role and how you're open to opportunities in that role. And then you move over to your skills. Remember, we're working with functional CV formats and focuses more on the skills rather than experience, right? So when you're highlighting your skills, you have to talk about the skills that are very important for that role. You have to include keywords, because ATS don't joke with keywords, and you have to make sure that your formatting and layout are highly professional. I mean, a lot of people create wax CV. I mean, when people send their CV to me sometimes, I'm like, how will you get a job using this kind of CV? I mean, it's not possible. Even I'm not a recruiter myself, but if I'm going to, pick someone based on their CV, there are some people I would never pick, because come on, this is 2024 and you can't keep expecting to work with an old format and old layout in the century. So you need to make sure that it is well, tailored, good format, layout, and all that, right? So you talk about your skills, highlight your skills and qualifications, if possible, and then you go to your certifications and skills. And this is another thing I do tell most of my clients: please and please, in as much as you don't have work experience in a particular field, that should not stop you from taking basic skills or courses in that field. I mean, there are a lot of free courses online. Go to Udemy, go to Coursera, LinkedIn also have, and we have Google, right? I mean, just Google it. I don't have to be telling you everything. Just Google is your friend. Google have free courses in healthcare, in project management, in this. You will see them. They are all out there, right? Even if you don't have money to pay for the certifications, they are just have the proof that you actually took this course and add it to your CV as part of your skills and certifications. You can take as many as you can, but don't just create a CV. You don't have work experience and yet you don't even the step to get a course or learn a skill in that field. That is too bad. I mean, I can create a CV for you, but I'm still going to give you my honest advice, because you need this thing. These are the things I work with in helping clients to create professional CV up to the last part. Another part of the CV that you should take note of is the hobbies and interests. If you are going to add it at all, please do not add unrelated hobbies and skills. Some of you will put dancing. I mean, if you're working in the corporate space, are you going to be asked to be dancing in the office? In as much as it's your hobby, make sure that for someone that doesn't have work experience, make sure you have related hobbies. I mean, and if you are applying for international jobs and offers, maybe on-site jobs, you should be able to put traveling. I mean, you want to travel out of the country and traveling is not part of your hobby. Just they play. So your hobbies are very, very important. I mean, for someone that is going into healthcare assistant, caregiver, when you put cooking, listening and all that into your hobbies and interests, it is something that is still reasonable. I mean, your cooking skills can actually help you to get the role. And for someone that is into, networking, maybe you want to apply for marketing or sales and all that. I mean, you will need networking skills or hobbies or interests. I mean, it's very, very important. And of course, the last part is the reference, which is available on request. You don't have to put the details of your reference there. It's not really, really needed. All right. So, and these are samples that you can follow as I'm showing you on the screen. Right. Lest I forgot, your cover letter is also important. I mean, you don't get to tell them all the stories in your CV. The cover letter is where now channel your transferable skills into how, why they need to pick you as the best candidate for the role. Cover letter is where you sell yourself, where you tell them what you've done in your school, how they align to this role, how you are going to put in your best, and what they should expect when they employ you. It is where you communicate your values. This is where you sell words. You sell words and you sell it respectfully and strategically, because girl, you need it. And the next point is to, partner or volunteer. I mean, it's very, very important. You need to volunteer or work with someone as a reference that you've done this project. It could be free, it could be paid, it could be an internship. Even if it's not with company, make sure you do it individuals, anybody that can put in some words for you, that you work with them and all that. So try to put this because to help you. In fact, it is going to be an additional section on your resume as project done or the volunteering experience or project, the project that you have done. So it's very, very important. And sometimes you should get recommendations and endorsement from those people that you've worked with. So these are the things that you can also leverage on, especially you can leverage on, and you can also work with NGOs. I myself, I run an NGO organization. I mean, I've helped, me recommending and endorsing some of my volunteers has really helped them, even internationally, right? So it's very, very important. Volunteer with NGOs, volunteer with organizations, intern, and do all these things. And trust me, it's really going to help. And the last point I'm going to be talking about is leverage LinkedIn for jobs and gigs. And well, I'm not going to dwell much on this, but most of the times I do advise my clients to work on both their LinkedIn and their CV, because CV, sometimes your LinkedIn gets you the job without stress, get you the gig without much stress. You don't have to know everybody before you get jobs. And I mean, my two first job ever, I got it from LinkedIn. I didn't have to go through the stress of looking for job boards and all that, and looking for where to submit my CVs and all that. It was just straight and direct via the LinkedIn platform. And in addition, you can also use, various job boards. We have LinkedIn is one of them. We have Indeed, we have Track Jobs, we have Canada Job Bank. We have a lot of them, right? So you can input your CV there and apply for jobs in all those platforms. I mean, it does work for most of my international clients. So, and I believe if you follow these tips and you're faithful to it, you should get a job very soon, right? And please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and turn on post notifications so that you don't miss more of my valuable content as they will be coming out back to back. And remember that I love you and I want the best for you always. And if you need any of my services, check out the description on how you can reach me or how you can message me, and I'll be glad to help, right? Don't forget to share this video also with somebody out there, because I'm very sure that this is going to help a lot of job seekers with zero experience. So be kind to someone, show somebody love, you rise by lifting others, right? Thank you so much. Bye.